Miguel Adorati back here at the Ibot Vaults, and we're going to get right into a boxing video blog with you. We got some boxing lines up for Friday, July 24th, Saturday, July 25th coming up here at the books. Not a lot of boxing compared to last weekend. Last weekend was pretty packed. The premier boxing champions are on the schedule this time with Babette Shumenov and BJ Flores at the Palms Casino in Nevada. I've been waiting for that line to pop up, and it's not up yet. So that's an interesting line there. The interim WBA world title is on the line. That's what Premier Boxing Champions has. They're going head-to-head with Sergey Kovalev in Nevada. Sergey Kovalev's fight against Najib Mohammadi, the mandatory for all his belts, or, you know, with 3 of his belts on the line here. This fight is on HBO, so they're going to go head-to-head with the Premier Boxing Champions that are on NBC, and that's interesting here. It's maybe not good for boxing, this political, you know, head-to-head kind of stuff going on with Al Heyman and the powers at HBO. But there is a line for the Kovalev fight. It's a huge crush line. He's at minus 10,000 favorite. Mohammadi plus 4,000. Mohammadi's been fighting in the States. He's got a couple of knockouts in a row. Both of those knockouts occurred on the undercard of Sergey Kovalev fights, including obviously the Bernard Hopkins fight and the Jean Pascal fight recently. So this fight's been set up for a little while by HBO. There may be, with the limited amount of opponents they have, on the undercard is Jean Pascal again, and because he fought a great fight with Kovalev last March, they could be setting up another rematch there. Again, the politics are preventing the Adonis Stevenson match for Kovalev, and that seems to be something that's not working for the good of boxing. In respects to some of the other lines that are popping up in the books, in Mexico, there's a line for Oswaldo Novoa versus Moises Fuentes. Is a flyweight fight in Sinaloa. Fuentes minus 3,000, with Novoa paying back 1,300. That card in particular also has a vacant WBO international title fight, 12 rounds with Juan Carlos Sanchez Jr. facing Cesar Juarez. Maybe more lines pop up at the books for that. Not sure, but heading over to England for some real fights and heading over on Friday night. I'm excited about this card. You got Frank Warren out there, and he always puts on some decent cards and stuff. You got a couple of fights of his coming up at the books. You got Kevin Satchel, 14-0. He's facing Thomas Masson for the EBU European flyweight title. Right now, the way that looks, Satchel minus 2,300 with Masson paying back plus 1,100. Interesting little fight. At super middleweight on that card, you also got Miguel Martinez facing Jamie Cox. Cox 18-0, a big favorite, also minus 2,300. Martinez paying back plus 1,100. So a couple of crush lines there. But what makes the card interesting, you got Billy Joe Saunders, middleweight stud, 21-0 on the card. He's facing a guy with a losing record, so he's just getting some ring time in. You got Derek Chisora, the heavyweight, making a comeback. Chisora hasn't been seen for a little while, and at the end of the day, he's still a serviceable heavyweight, especially if he comes in shape. His last outing against Tyson Fury, he lost, but he was in the best shape of his life, and he took it seriously. And if he continues down that path of being a serious boxer, he could have an impact on the heavyweight division in a couple of, you know, after a couple of fights, a couple of makeup wins here. Those are the odds that are up at the books for boxing this weekend. There's going to be more odds up, so we'll do another blog later and we'll get you filled in. But for right now, take a look at it. You got the card in Wembley, Frank Warren featuring a couple of regional belts on the line there. More of the lines I expect to pop up on the undercard. And you got some action in Mexico, and then you got Las Vegas with both the Premier Boxing Champions and the HBO telecast with Sergey Kovalev. So we'll talk to you after these fights.